Hello, welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley, and for the next hour, we will practice our English conversational skills and a little bit of description and a whole lot of opinion by talking about current events. In particular, today we're going to talk about immigration, a very controversial subject, a problem which is basically worldwide. Uh, I will facilitate the discussion and, of course, be giving any feedback regarding your English-related skills, grammar, sentence construction, possible vocabulary, pronunciation, and so forth. The point of the conversation is just to practice using our English, describing the situation as it may be in your society or your country, and also sharing our opinions about it. I don't know if there are any wrong or right answers, and I don't suppose that we will solve all the world's problems during this one Verbling class, but we can give it a try. In any case, please join me and enjoy an important conversation, I guess. Okay. Hello, Victor. Welcome to the class. How are you?
Pretty fine. And you?
I'm doing okay. Thank you very much.
It's your first class today.
My first class today. Yes, it is.
Okay. For me, it's the last thing in the day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's night. It's late for you, right?
Yes, for me, it's late. Really are the 9 o'clock.
Okay.
9 p.m. o'clock.
All right. Yeah, 9 o'clock. We say 9 o'clock p.m., Victor.
Thank you.
9 p.m. o'clock. 9 o'clock p.m. Yeah, okay. Anyway, all right, plenty of room in the class. I encourage people to come on in and join us. But Victor, let's get started. So, Victor, if I remember correctly, you're in Brazil. Is that correct?
No, it's in
No.
Colombia.
Colombia. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got that mixed up. Okay. Well, let's talk first about your experience in your country. Do more people immigrate to Colombia or emigrate from?
Okay, a lot of people we have the two things. Some people immigrate to Colombia. Most of the 10 are people from Venezuela, and in the last 20 years, a lot of Venezuelan people travel to Colombia because they don't like the current government in Venezuela, and it's people with a lot of money. So in my country there is a problem because these people can buy an expensive house, and at this moment the houses are very expensive for all Colombian people.
Huh. Okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay.
Yes, it's the people with a lot of money. But in contrast, a lot of people immigrate from Colombia to another country, for example, USA or the same Venezuela. Also, some people travel to the Spain, but most of the people travel to Venezuela. But this kind of people is poor people. And in this last year, the government of Venezuela returned these people to Colombia in a lot of difficult conditions. So in this moment, there is a problem between the two countries, Venezuela and Colombia.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the border are closed in some sites.
Some sites. This is very strange when countries do this. They close some boundaries, but others are not closed. I never understand that. What's going on? Make up your mind. Well, that is an interesting dynamic. By the way, your English was quite good because that was very clear to me, explaining to me in a situation I know nothing about. I had no idea about that, but excellent job, Victor, explaining that because
Thank you.
I totally I understand what you're saying. I had no idea of this dynamic. This dynamic meaning this action. Okay. Richer Venezuelans moving to Colombia, poorer Colombians moving to Venezuela. It's very interesting.
Yeah, because Venezuela offer a lot of benefits to the people. For example, the health and
Right.
some food are free. Some people travel to Venezuela want these benefits.
Okay. The whole socialist structure of the government.
Yes, and the last government in Colombia are Paris of right, yes, right, Paris, and there is a conflict in the team of the president of both countries.
Okay. There is a what with the president? I'm confused by that last part.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what is the current word. For example, in the contrary is the contrast of socialists.
Contrast.
We are from the government from more thin of more like Margaret Thatcher. I think no, it's not capitalism. It's like Margaret Thatcher government.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my.
Or like Margaret Thatcher or Ronald Reagan. Reagan is the sign.
Okay, so how does conservative grab you?
Yes, it's the correct word.
Okay, there we go.
I'm from Colombia, Jorge Luis.
Okay.
I am from Colombia too. Good night. Hello, Oakley. Sorry.
Hello,
Sorry,
not a problem. Not a problem at all. Okay, great. Well, you can elaborate on what Victor's been saying, illuminating to us in just a moment. Let me welcome other students to the class. We've had a few others come on board. Hello, Shan.
Hi, Oakley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Great. And also Sam is with us. Hi, Sam.
Yes, hello. Good morning.
Good morning. And Jorge Luis, hi again.
Hi.
Okay. Hi. Okay, Victor, we can talk more about that, and I would definitely like to touch more on something Victor just brought up, which seems to be a lot of immigration, not only in his very good example of Colombia, but also all over the world where people are emigrating to, they're leaving to more socialist countries, which we see in Europe happening right now to a great degree as well. But we can definitely touch on that. I want to start off talking to you individual students and talk about the situation in your country and your experience with it. So Shan, you're up next. You were in the class next. Tell us where you're from, first of all. Where you live?
I'm from India. India.
From India. Okay, well, okay, this will be interesting. Great. Cool. All right. Shan, what is the situation in India? Do you have more people emigrating from India, leaving, or more people immigrating to? Or is there a balance? Could you try to describe the situation?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's almost 50-50, but more than 50-50. I think immigrants are moving India is 60% and 40% and moving out from India. But the situation is a little different here. Like the people who just upper educated and they are moving new like UAEs, Australia and the European countries because of they just are looking for their better job and business kind of thing. But the immigrant who moving to India is a different story. Like you may heard about that Bangladesh has just divided from the Pakistan. So at that time, almost 50% of their population moved out to India because of
Wow.
the military uh, disbalance or kind of situation was there. So I'm from the eastern part of the India, and this state is a small state. It's called West Bengal, and when the large number of guys moving to this state, it's automatically its economy collapsed. So still that backlog is going on. Job
Okay.
opportunities, kind of education, medical facility, everything has diminished. So in
Because
that angle we little bit suffered, but again we have to just consider their life, how much they have suffered. That's why they just moved from their home. We have to consider also that.
okay, now all right, you've brought up a number of interesting points, and okay, just to summarize, great job, by the way, explaining the situation.
Thank you.
A couple of English-related terms I want to share with you. Okay, so a lot of people, especially people with a higher educational level, leave India for more job opportunity and more money. Let's just say it. This have you ever heard the English term for this kind of migration?
Brain drain.
Brain drain? Yeah, you got it. Exactly. Brain drain. Yeah, I currently live in the Philippines, and this is definitely an issue here. The best and the brightest end up leaving because not that the standard of living is lower, but you can just simply make a lot more money, and a lot of people choose to go to European or North American countries or Australia, make a lot more money, and then send money back to their families, which
Yeah, that's right.
you can't argue with that. You know, that's very logical because then that money they send back goes a lot further in countries like India or the Philippines.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I understand that. The other aspect that you brought up, which is very interesting and which we definitely want to discuss, is the difference between an economic immigrant and an immigrant who is a refugee, really. Okay, a refugee may be escaping political situations or war, revolution, civil unrest, massive social problems, things like that. Yeah. So in India is a big country, you know, as population and area-wise, is because some areas are harder hit than other areas, like where you live. Is the country very good at giving extra help, financial, economic, or otherwise, social, health, what have you, to these areas that are getting, you know, inundated with more refugees? You would have to call the Bangladeshis refugees, right? Is the government doing anything about it? Are they being effective? Or
Well, they're definitely doing. They're definitely doing, but not in the right direction. Like they take it in a negative way. Like they doing some popular things to just for vote bank, so that they keep repeating, giving them vote and that particular party will come again and again, but not any constructive way, which will
Okay.
like any positive tip. If they have taken now, it will be in after 10 years. It will be helpful for everyone, not that way. But things
Okay.
have changed. Things are moving. Like this kind of immigrations and the refugee problem we had mid of 70s. Now we have almost covered 30 years. But things are slightly different.
Okay. Different, better. Okay. Well, you bring up an interesting point. Yeah, with immigration and lots of people moving into the countries, often politics gets involved.
Yeah,
I know that this is also true in the United States, trying to give immigrants the right to vote or not give them the right to vote, and who are they going to vote for, and making it all very political. It's a power game.
absolutely.
Yeah. That unfortunately happens a lot, and the immigrants become pawns in this kind of power game. Well, so does the native populace. Actually, in reality, everybody
No, but
pawns.
so much of the population's infrastructure has broken, but they are not concentrating to improve the infrastructure.
There we
They are
go.
taking
Okay.
some smart step so that immigrant will feel like, oh, this government is doing for very good job for us. Let's vote for them and let them come again and again. Let them help to come again and again. But this kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing is happening.
Right. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. And we're going to take some of those ideas and look at immigration in a broader way. But I want to continue going around the class and asking people about their situation in their country. Thank you, Shan. That was very, very interesting, and good job, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, a quick shout out and welcome to Carlos. Hi, Carlos. Welcome. Howdy. Hello, hello. Don't know what the issue is, Carlos, but as of right now, I cannot hear you. So if you want to work on that, just give me a shout out. Just say hello, teacher, whenever you get your audio worked out. Okay, Sam, let's talk for a minute. Sam,
Hello.
can you remind the class where you're from or where you live now?
Yes, I'm from Pakistan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes. I live in the southern part of Pakistan.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So let's talk about Pakistan. Same question to you. What is the situation with immigration? Are more people emigrating with an E, leaving Pakistan,
Okay.
or are people coming in to Pakistan?
I think that um, I'm not quite sure that how many are immigrate or how many are that, but in my surrounding that I have noticed that people um, um moving, but as compared to I think it's depend on government. In some 5 years ago, that government was totally changed, and before that, it was changed. So you know that it's depend everywhere. I think politics involved. So here is also involved politics and immigration for education from Pakistan to other countries. Yes, we have, and especially our youngsters and students, and sometime, not sometime, but um, people who need a good job, and so also they are emigrate to other countries, and mostly they try to go to European countries. For example, the America, that is main target to go over there, and other countries in also we can say that Arabic countries like Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, and a lot of our educated and especially highly educated, competent uh, persons are going over there, and they give opportunity to them. And so these scenario we have, and come from other country to Pakistan. Yes, not right now, it's not fast, but if we go back to several years ago, that Afghanistani persons, people immigrate from their Afghan to Pakistan, and they live for a long time here, and as a refugees, and that period was how we say a very difficult situation. You know that when a lot of people come to your country, they will affect of your economy.
Of
So
course.
we were suffer a lot at that time, but it was past. I think more than 10 or 15 years ago. And right now, I don't think so. People, maybe they come illegally, and but we never read news as same as like Afghani people or others. So this situation right now we have, and sure that everywhere you can see that people move from one place, one country to other country. The same is here in Pakistan as well.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. One comment about your delivery. You're very clear, no big problems, but as far as your organization, I may advise you to try to cultivate, to try to use a variety of introductory words or phrases, because what you're doing, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. You used "and" like 17
Okay.
times. So, in addition, also as well, another point is, and yet another very important point, phrases like this to introduce
Okay.
as you keep adding new ideas or linearly adding ideas. Okay. All right. A couple small verb tense problems. We were suffer at the time should be, of course, we were suffering at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, but regarding the context, it seems like you've similar issue as India with brain drain, the best and the brightest, and the Philippines, where I now live. People, the best and the brightest leaving. You know, I have to wonder, as this whole deal with Pakistan and China kicks in, China investing lots of money, well, there's going to be a lot more money in Pakistan, and I'm wondering if this will, you know, if this will result in less brain drain, first of all, and secondly, more immigration when they start these huge projects, infrastructure projects. I wonder if that will happen. Am I predicting the future? I don't know. Time will tell, I suppose. Okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I think the reason is that maybe the relationship of two countries, and you know that 1948 when China independent got independence. Yes. So at that time, well, Pakistan was the first country who support support China. So I think that was the reason that they have a very good relationship to each other, and that's why now they give a bridge between two countries. And yes, and a lot of people I think every day people go to China and they come from here, and no doubt we have a lot of projects are running right now, and no doubt in future we have a lot of plannings to do a lot of wars, even though now they are involved in our all main criteria. For example, education, and we have right now big project about, we can say the mega project about the oil and and field side. So
Mhm.
yes, no doubt, your information is correct, and hopefully maybe in future there will more, but we have this right now.
There will be more, but yeah,
Will be more, yeah,
right.
will be more.
And okay, and when China got independent, probably better to say when China became independent. Okay,
Became independent. Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I not really has nothing to do with immigration, our main topic, but just I don't know, because of the nature of our conversation here. Sam, do you know what? Have you ever heard the term frenemies?
Frenemies?
Yeah,
No, no, sorry. Frenemies.
frenemies. As you may be able to guess, it's a
Uh-huh.
combination of the word friend and
Uh-huh.
enemies. So
Okay.
we're talking. I'm an American originally, so talking about China and Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
China and Pakistan to the United States are kind of frenemies.
Oh.
But allies,
Okay.
friends, but not always don't see eye to eye. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like friends who argue a lot, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yep.
frenemies. Anyway, all right. Well, there's a vocabulary word for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we can use this to talk about countries, or we can use this to talk about individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like that you have a very competitive relationship with personally.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Mm-hmm.
friends, but you're also competing is kind of the idea. See?
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of frenemies. All right. Okay. Lots of other folks to talk to. Let me quickly mic check. Carlos, come in. Houston, Mission Control. Carlos.
Teacher, could you hear me?
Yeah. Nice. Cool
Excellent.
beans. All right, great. Hi, Carlos. Good to see you. And also, I need to welcome Keiko. Hi, Keiko. How are you?
Hey, teacher. I'm
Hey.
very well, thank you.
Terrific.
Nice to hear you.
Yeah. To hear from you as well. Okay, let me go to Jorge Luis. Jorge Luis, also from Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Victor already really did a very good job of informing us about the situation in Colombia. Is there anything you can add to that? I think you joined the class in time to hear part of what he
Well,
was saying.
I arrived late.
Okay.
I didn't hear the main idea that
Okay. He was talking about a lot of emigration occurs between Colombia and Venezuela. And
yeah.
because of the totally different political structure, social,
Yes.
economic, everything structure, you have rich people going from Venezuela, where it's very socialist, and they're expected to share their wealth. So their rich people are moving to Colombia. In the meanwhile, the poorer Colombians are moving to Venezuela because they have super intense social programs.
Yes.
That was basically, he outlined that for us.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me give you my opinion as a
Please.
Cucuta citizen, which is a city in the border with Venezuela, one of the cities, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I live in Bogota, in the capital, but I am from Cucuta, actually. So at the very beginning, the situation was that Colombian emigrate to Venezuela for the currency for the currency devaluation. So the Venezuelan money had more value than the Colombian money. So people from Cucuta go to live to Venezuela to get better job, or not maybe better job, but maybe get more money, right?
More money for the
So,
same job. Sure.
yeah, and then the the government, the Venezuelan government changed, became too socialized. So the opposite situation became also for the currency. I mean, the
Ah,
Colombian peso had more value than the Venezuelan peso.
understood.
So we started to live the opposite situation as well. So Venezuelan people came to Colombia to live
Got it.
here, to maybe get a better job, and but the situation, or the worst part, is that the socialism in Venezuela increase in a dangerous way, in a way that all the entities in the government maybe all were corrupted,
Mm-hmm.
and then uh, poor people in Venezuela got money in an easy way just
Mm-hmm.
for still voting for the government, for the current government, and not for
Right.
getting a better, uh, maybe, I don't know, maybe getting a better situation. It's just like you are a lazy citizen, because the government gives you the necessary for living.
Yeah.
But people who have higher goals, maybe people who had worked, or maybe we say, or we refer that people, that rich people, uh, or maybe medium class or high class in Venezuela, well, they started to have a lot of problems, because government start to, I will say this word, steal their properties, right? Yeah, steal their properties. That's why rich people and middle class people in Venezuela came to Colombia. So right now we are living a situation in which we had a lot of Venezuela here in Colombia. And the worst thing is we have also Colombian people that at the beginning uh, live in Venezuela. So the Venezuelan government say that we are maybe the worst influence from there. And the violence, the economical situation is our fault. It's the fault of Colombian people, and not from the manage that the government have. So this is the current situation in our city in Cucuta right now. Right now we have many temporal, I don't know the word in English, but the meaning is temporal houses living there, even Venezuelan people, because many of Venezuelan uh, families took the decision to come to live here right now, because the situation there is, first, so dangerous. So if you not if you don't support the government, you are in danger, right? And the second
Okay.
one, if you have how can I say, higher ideas, or you have goal in your life, I mean, you want to get a, I don't know, better education,
Mm-hmm.
and the opportunity to build a company, well, you don't have any possibilities to do that in Venezuela,
Right. Gotcha.
because socialism is, I mean, the state is the owner of everything.
Right.
The government, I don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
that's is the current situation. So,
Okay. Wow. very difficult. Okay.
But you know what is the irony here? That at the beginning, we emigrate to there, and
Yeah, right.
10
So
years,
it's
10 years ago, we are receiving immigrants from there in
right.
both Venezuela and Colombia.
10 years later. Right. Okay. Let's talk. I have some vocabulary to suggest and a little bit of feedback about English. They give the people all the necessary for living. Necessary is an adjective. You need the noun necessities. I was like, the government provides necessities. Things, that's the noun,
Okay.
things that are necessary. I forgot how you said it, medium or higher class. In English we say middle or upper class. Okay. To talk about primarily talking about economic, you know, economic wealth of families. Categories, yeah, that's it. That's right. And a good word to introduce you to, the government started to confiscate land and even businesses. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, maybe still is not the correct word.
Well, actually, it is the correct word, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
Between us.
Between us, I agree with you, actually. Okay, and they set up temporary housing, or
Yeah.
sometimes when it's really temporary, you know, a refugee camp. I'm not sure.
In Spanish we say albergues, but I don't know that word in English.
Unfortunately,
Albergues.
I don't either. Okay, temporary, not temporal. Temporal means is an adjective, something to do with time. So temporary, I guess. And yeah.
The word is refugees.
Refugees, yeah. And you were talking about because if they could actually be in danger if their political views were contrary to the government in Venezuela. So you could describe those as political refugees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly. Right. And countries are going to have a hard time refusing political refugees, because how do you justify that? No, go home and be shot in the head. You can't do that, really, with any kind of claim to ethical or moral standards. Really. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell people who are going to be shot by their government to go home.
No.
Yeah,
I can do that.
You can't do that. Nobody can. You really can't. Yeah. So political refugees or war refugees really can't be refused. A big question often in the world, different governments and societies, is what about economic refugees? People who just, they're not going to be shot if they stay at home. They're just looking for, you know, they're looking to improve their lives, as you were saying. People that want a higher education, open a business, what have you. These are economic refugees. And there's a subtle difference, and Europe is really wrestling with this problem. In Europe, it's out of control, because how can you tell who's a what? And that I've seen recently, you know, Merkel saying, "Oh, we're going to allow in all the political or the war refugees, but we're not going to allow economic refugees." How are they going to tell? How? Of course, anybody's going to say that everyone's going to say they're a political or a war refugee, of course. Duh. I don't know. That's a huge problem, and maybe we'll come back to that because that's a big issue. All right. Okay. We'll talk more later, I hope. We could talk for hours and hours about this, but let me give some others a chance. Carlos, tell the people where you're from. Where are you from?
I am from
Uh-oh.
like Jorge.
Okay. You're also from Colombia? Oh. Carlos, connection is not good. You're,
Could you hear me?
yeah, you're doing the robot thing. Like, unfortunately. Yeah, you may need to jump out and jump back into the class, see if your connection is better. And I will come back to you to talk to you because it's very robot and I'm only hearing about, I don't know, 10 or 20% of what you're saying and I can barely understand it. All right, I'm going to skip you, Carlos. I'll come back to you. Let me talk to Keiko first. Keiko. Brasilia. Keiko? Okay. I have a lot of... Keiko, are you there? Yeah.
Yes, teacher.
Great. All right. Now I have a lot of Brazilian students, so I know quite a bit about it. But this is one area where I don't know much, so please educate me. What is the situation regarding immigration in Brazil? Do you have more immigrants coming in, more emigrants leaving? Is it a balance? Or what's the deal? Could you describe the situation in Brazil?
Historically, Brazil is a country which has, along the years, received many different people of many different nationalities. During the Second World War, Brazil received a lot of immigrants, mainly from Europe, the Nazist and fascist Europe. Nowadays, we in that time we received many persecuted people by the Nazi and fascist regimes, teacher. To be clear, yeah. Nowadays, Brazil is receiving Haitian people after the earthquake in the Haiti.
Yeah.
And Middle East people persecuted by the wars, war refugees, for example, Syrian people,
okay, really?
Egyptian people, but this immigration flow is not very huge.
Yeah.
I think Brazil.
That's a long boat ride from Syria to Brazil. You're not gonna make that on a rubber raft. That ain't gonna work. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I think the Brazilian goal to receive Syrian people this year is about 10,000 people, which is significant, but is very less than the Syrian immigration to Europe, for example.
Yeah.
I think there is no comparison. Yeah.
Right. It's very modest, but it's something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could say modest. Modest goal. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. African people as well come to here. For example, people from Angola and other African republics in war.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to. Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm dying to understand this. I'm trying to understand this. How Brazil is so far away from everything. How do they get from Africa or from Syria to Brazil? How is Brazil actually going to get 10,000 refugees? How are they getting there?
I think they come by ship or by airplane.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. In the case of Haitian people, they use coyotes and from Caribe to I think Equator, the border between Brazil and Equator.
Okay.
They are illegal immigrants, but
Okay.
Brazilian government have been supporting them after they come in here. They enter they entering the country, providing documentation and job for them.
Right. Okay. All right. First of all, okay. Most English speakers, at least Americans, people from Haiti, we call them Haitians. But yeah, America took a lot of them too. But I don't know if they took enough. Keiko brought up an interesting word which is used a lot in the Western Hemisphere, in the Americas. He used the term coyotes. Yes? Okay.
Yeah, teacher.
We use that a lot in America, talking about people smuggling people into America from Mexico. They generally, okay. The term hasn't really caught on in Europe. I never see them use this on like BBC or anything, but Americans know this term for sure. Coyotes, just so students from that part of the world who don't know, coyotes are the people you pay them money and they help organize smuggling you across the border. So you use the coyote for absolutely illegal immigration, undocumented. Yeah, right. Okay. Right.
They pay around $3,500
Really?
to conduct each person from Haiti to Brazil, as I have already heard on the TV.
Okay. Now here, see, now this is for me a really big. This is another aspect that I find to be very disturbing. I don't have any answers, but I already mentioned the aspect of who are political or war refugees and who are economic refugees. Another aspect of this that flows right into it is all these people who are illegally immigrating are paying coyotes, or in Europe they're paying human traffickers, whatever, they're coyotes, same thing. How can they afford to, if they can afford to pay all that money, how are they like, I don't understand. I guess they can still be a refugee, but I don't know. When I see people, all these people on the TV, oh, these poor, sad refugees, and they are wearing clothes I simply cannot afford. They got a beautiful watch I could not buy. I don't get it. These are wealthy people moving across the borders. I find this quite disturbing. These people are much better off than I am. I don't get it.
Maybe some NGO.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, supporting them. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe, I
I'm in a,
suppose,
I
I
don't know.
guess.
NGO shop at Benetton, all right? I don't know. What's the deal, man? They're wearing some nice clothes, Lacoste shirts, and they've got like Ray-Ban sunglasses that cost $200. I'm just looking at this scratch in my head going, what's going on? I'm supposed to cry tears and feel sorry for these people, but they've got a lot more money than I have, obviously. It's quite obvious. Hard for me to cry. Keiko, we didn't. Brazil is. Are there a lot of people emigrating from Brazil? Do you have brain drain in Brazil?
Yes, teacher. As Brazil nowadays live a huge crisis, huge economical and political crisis,
Yeah.
a lot of people are giving up to live in Brazil, and they hope to go abroad to live in Miami or other
Miami.
American city. Yeah,
America is the primary destination.
yeah. I
Okay.
think many people have the American dream.
Okay.
Yeah,
The American dream.
many of them, many of them hope to live better in the United States than here.
Right.
People are very disconsolated about Brazilian situation nowadays, unhappily.
Yeah. Yeah. Tough times. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. I, we just don't have enough time with this class. There's way too much time to talk about all this. I'm gonna bring it back to Victor, who's been waiting ever so patiently. Um, Victor, I want to go broader now and bringing up a couple of the broader problems in the world. Why do you think there's so much immigration going on? Emigration. Now, the number of immigrants is doubled, tripled, quadrupled in the last. I don't know. I saw some numbers. I can't remember them, but they are ridiculous. It's like the curve of numbers of immigrants in the world is just ridiculous now. I mean, it's extrapolating. It's not a line like this. It's a curve that's going like that. Why do you think that is?
Okay, I think we forgot one of the more important part of the migration phenomenon, that is
Okay.
the internal migration. In Colombia, terms of 3 million of people migrate from one city to another city because there is an internal armed conflict for more than 60 years. So people must leave their belonging and travel to a new city because uh, they are running out from the violence. So also sometimes the displacement people and these people come to big cities and these people don't have any money, don't have a house, and it's
Mm-hmm.
very difficult situation because these people need house, need work, and the government really can do nothing to try to do this situation a better situation. I think we always think about the borders and the migrant from one country to another country, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
people need to migrate to one city of the country to a big city. It's a situation, a very difficult situation also.
Okay. Well, thanks for reminding us of that. A couple of notes of pronunciation. Victor, phenomena. You said we were missing part of the picture of the immigration phenomena. I think you used that
Yes.
word. I think you did. Phenomena. All right. And another word that you used, people might be fleeing violence. Violence has an I sound, a long I. Violence, not violence, but violence.
Violence.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, that is true. There's a great deal of internal. You could call it internal immigration, right? Yeah, that happens basically everywhere. People going to the biggest cities. I remember reading years ago that some sociologists thought that that end of the city was coming and people would start moving back to the country because of things like the internet. You can work online. Here I am working online, but doesn't seem to be happening. Not a prediction that seems to be coming true. Cities just keep getting bigger and bigger. Is there going to be a critical mass for some cities that are like enormously huge, like Sao Paulo or I don't know, Tokyo or whatever? I don't know. Let me talk to Shan. Shan.
Yep.
Okay. All right. What do you feel are the underlying reasons for the great increase in immigration in modern society?
First of all, the globalization, the exposure, the every level of society have, the television, through television or through newspaper, or the nearby people who just moved to the new countries. So they came to know that the opportunities they have, if they took a little bit of risk, they could have a better life here. That is the first point. And another thing is the demand also. Few countries has demand, and whether they're fulfilling through legal immigration or illegal immigration. For example, state, USA. For particular fields like IT, medical, they need expert or the professional from outside of the country. That's true.
Yes, I agree. I also agree that in some countries, such as Japan and most of Europe and United States and Canada, and Australia, you actually have declining populations, which if you just let that happen, less consumers, the economy is going to go down. Those countries need immigrants in order to, to keep demand levels up and keep the economy rolling and growing. So zero immigration policy for developed countries is just stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think day by day it's going to be increased. I think so.
Yeah, it's pretty much necessary.
Necessary. I think only it will stop when the economy will be equivalent to every country's.
Okay, that's an interesting point. It's an extremely interesting point, and I agree with you.
And the lifestyle also, the quality of life
and
quality of life and economy, it will be equivalent to equal to every country. They don't need to just move out from their home. Like they will be happy to be there.
That makes sense to me. It's very logical, but oh my gosh.
But it's a very hypothetical. I know, hypothetical. Yeah. I know that.
Woo! Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's pie in the sky, we say.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's even possible. But, okay, I like the general idea. I'm really sorry that we could have just kept rolling with this discussion for obviously at least another hour. We didn't even really get to some of the bigger aspects. But unfortunately, I'm out of time. Maybe I'll have to have a part 2 class next week. I don't know. Thank you very much. I do have to get going because I have another class coming up, but thanks a lot. It was very interesting, very informative. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay.